Now the next thing we want to do, you'll notice that these column widths are very short. Everything hasn't been expanded. Is we're going to click on the cell above the number 1 and to the left of the letter A, and click it, and then double click between any two columns, and that will give us the columns open to their maximum width to accommodate whatever's in there. And you can look, drilled all the way down to the standard level, how the students did, whether they may benefit from additional activities, whether they show strengths or show weaknesses. And we're going to conditionally format this information so it'll be easier to make sense of. Very similar to the way we did before. So here I'm going to do it by clicking in cell E1, because that's where the scoring information starts, and do the same thing we did before. Shift, Control, down arrow, then continue to hold down my Shift and Control buttons and click my right arrow. And now again, it has selected my entire selection. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Conditional Formatting. I'm going to use the Highlight Cells rule, and I'm going to say Text That Contains. And I will click that, and you see right now it's going to format cells with a light red fill and a dark red text. So because it's red, for that one I'm going to do shows weaknesses. So here we've got cells that contain the text, so I'm just going to type the word weaknesses. And you'll see every cell that has the word weaknesses in it will have, and I'll scroll back so you can see that, it happens all over the sheet. Every cell that has the word weaknesses in it will now be highlighted red. So we'll say OK. Now, keeping everything highlighted, we're going to come back up. We're going to conditionally format again. Conditional format, highlight cells rule, text that contains. This time we're going to get the one that shows may benefit from additional activities. So for that one, we'll choose going with the stoplight theme. We'll go with the yellow. So I'm going to click this drop down, and I'm going to say yellow fill with dark yellow text. And the text that I'm going to be looking for is anything that shows benefit, because that's the only word really in there that's unique. May benefit from additional activity. So I'm just choosing the word benefit, and I'll say OK. Now any cell that has the word benefit in it has been highlighted yellow. And then lastly, coming back up for conditional formatting, click it again, back to the highlight cells rule, then down to text that contains. And this time the text we're going to look for is strengths. So we'll type strengths in the box. And we don't want the light red fill because we've already used that. We also don't want the yellow, we've used that. So now we'll go down to the green fill with dark green text, select that, and then we'll do OK. So now we have all of the score types highlighted, so I can click now to undo my selection. And you'll notice now that it's much easier to look. And if I wanted to look at my class and see, well, how did they do in science with the science standard scientific inquiry? And I can look and at a glance see that all the ones in green showed strength, all the ones in yellow may benefit from additional activities, and all the ones in red, they show weaknesses and a need for further instruction. And that's all the way across for all of my science standards. And because we got rid of all of the blank columns, we just scroll over a little bit and we're looking right into the social studies standards here, and we see the same sort of thing. So from here, all you have to do is save your work. And remember, I told you right now it's a comma-separated values file designated by that .csv. We want to save this as an Excel file so that it'll keep all of this conditional formatting. So before you close the file, just go up and click on the Save button at the top here, or click your File menu and Save. And right now it says, it's telling you it's saved as a comma-separated values file, and we want to change this format. So here it says to keep the format, click yes. To preserve the features, click no. Well, we want to preserve these features, so we're going to click no. And we're going to save it as an Excel workbook instead. And I'm just going to click OK or Save. And now my work's been saved, so if I close it, I can come back to it later and double click it. And it's kept all of the work that I just did.